Once upon a time, in a serene forest, there lived a wise old crane. The crane resided by a large, tranquil pond that was home to many fish and other aquatic creatures. The pond was teeming with life, and the crane had never gone hungry. However, as time passed, the crane became older and less agile. Catching fish became increasingly difficult, and the crane started to worry about its future. One hot summer day, while the crane was resting by the pond, a clever idea crossed its mind. The crane decided to use its wisdom to devise a plan that would ensure its survival without the need to exert much physical effort. The crane announced to the fish and other pond dwellers that it had heard troubling news. A drought was coming, and soon the pond would dry up. This would mean certain death for all the inhabitants of the pond. The fish, alarmed and fearful for their lives, gathered around the crane, seeking advice. The crane, with a solemn expression, offered a solution. It claimed to know of another pond, much larger and filled with water, not far from their current home. The crane proposed to transport the fish to the new pond, one by one, in its beak. The fish, desperate and believing the crane's story, agreed to the plan. Every day, the crane would carry a fish in its beak, ostensibly to the new pond. However, instead of taking them to safety, the crane would fly to a nearby rock and enjoy a fresh meal. The crane continued this deceitful practice for several days, growing fatter and stronger while the number of fish in the pond dwindled. Among the pond's inhabitants was a wise and observant crab. The crab had been watching the crane's activities with suspicion. It noticed that none of the fish who left with the crane ever returned, nor did they send any message about